Hello, all you film freaks and movie maniacs out there. My name is Nolan Carr, and I'd like to welcome you to the go-to podcast for all things cinema. But before you can ask any questions, just sit back, relax, as I present to you a Strawlane Studio Productions Critiquing with Carr. And welcome everyone to the debut premiere episode of Critiquing with Carr. I'm so grateful and thankful of you all for being here and tuning in, and I hope you enjoy not just this episode, but Fridays, but also the ones down the line after these episodes this week. As I mentioned in the introduction trailer of this podcast a while back, this will be a learning process, a new beginning for me. So please have some patience as I stumble over my words, maybe slur them or any of that nature. It will take time and patience, but one day we'll be up to par with how my other podcast was. As I also mentioned, the schedule in the introduction trailer. How this works is on Mondays, which is Memorable Movie Mondays, and Fridays, which are Favorite Film Fridays, I will be dissecting films. I will be saying who was in charge of the film to bring it out to the light of day behind the camera, the cast, how it did in the theaters, what it was up against in terms of competition, accolades, and then we'll go into my likes, dislikes, and my final review of the film. With that being said, let us discuss the Shawshank Redemption.
Put your trust in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me.
Now, although there's some people out there who do this, not every person does this. And by that I mean Frank Darabont is pulling double duty for this film. He is both the director and screenwriter. And as the leader of this film, he does a brilliant job. I'm not like these other film reviewers out there who dissect every little aspect of camera lens, the direction, the photography, and all that stuff. I just like films. And I think that Frank Darabont did a masterful job as the leader and president of this film, if you want to call it that. This was based off of, if you didn't know that, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption by Stephen King. And I mentioned that because that will come into a big effect and a big point later on in my review when talking about the accolades. And another point you want to keep an eye on and keep a mental note of is who produced this, which is Nicky Marvin. Now, for those who have or haven't seen this film, you may or may not know the cast of this production, and boy, is it a great collection of cast members. Starting off this list, we have Tim Robbins as Andy Dufresne. We have Morgan Freeman as Ellis Boyd Red Redding, Bob Gunn as Samuel Norton, William Sadler as Haywood, Clancy Brown as Byron Hadley, Gil Bellows as Tommy Williams, James Whitmore as Brooks Hatlin, Mark Ralston as Boggs Diamond, Jeff DeMunn as the prosecuting attorney in Dufresne's trial, Alfonso Freeman as Fresh Fish Khan, Ned Bellamy as prison guard Youngblood, Don McManus as prison guard Wiley, Deion Anderson as Head Bull Haig, Renee Blaine portrays Andy's wife, Scott Mann portrays her golf instructor lover Glenn Quinn, Frank Madrano plays Fat Ass, Bill Bolender plays Elmo Blatch, who actually is responsible for Andy's crimes, James Kosicki as Maine National Bank Manager, and Claire Slammer portrays the Maine National Bank teller. The cinematographer is Roger Deakins. It is edited by Richard Francis Bruce. Music is by Thomas Newman. The production company of this film, which is owned and operated by Rob Reiner, is Castle Rock Entertainment. It was distributed by Columbia Pictures. The release date was September 10th, 1994 at the Toronto International Film Festival. It was released on September 23rd of 1994 in the United States. The runtime is just under 2.5 hours at 142 minutes, which adds up to 2 hours and 22 minutes. Of course, as I mentioned, it is a United States picture, an American film, so they do speak English in the movie. For a budget, the film had $23 million, and for a box office release total, it made $73.3 million. The reason for that is because of the movies that were also released at the time as the competition for Shawshank Redemption, which I'll talk about momentarily. Number 10 was Clear and Present Danger, which made $260 million with a Harrison Ford lead. Number 9 was Interview with the Vampire, which made $223 million, and Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt were the co-leads. Four Weddings and a Funeral made $245 million, and Hugh Grant was the lead. Dumb and Dumber came in at number 7 with $247 million made. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels were the co-leads. Number 6 was The Flintstones with $341 million made, and John Goodman was the lead actor. Number 5 was Speed, which made $350 million, and Keanu Reeves was the lead actor. Number 4 was The Mask, and it made $351 million with Jim Carrey as the lead. Number 3 was True Lies, which made $380 million with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the lead. Number 2 was Forrest Gump, which made $680 million and Tom Hanks as the lead. Number 1 was The Lion King, with $764 million made. It was a Disney animation film. Now, after me vastly Quickly, I should say, reading that list, you can tell why The Shawshank Redemption didn't do that well in the theaters. However, though, this film did very well in DVD and VHS tape release, which helped it become as great and legendary as a film is 30 years later, and it has stood the test of time compared to when it was originally released based off of the box office success. What we'll do now is discuss some of the accolades it was nominated for and potentially possibly even won at the award events during that season of 1994 and 95. The film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards in 1995, which was the most for a Stephen King film adaptation. It was nominated for Best Picture for Nicky Marvin, Best Actor for Morgan Freeman, Best Adapted Screenplay by Frank Darabont, Best Cinematography for Roger Deakins, Best Film Editing for Richard Francis Bruce, Best Sound for Robert J. Litt, Elliot Tyson, and Michael Herbick, and William D. Byrne, and Best Original Score for Thomas Newman, which was his first Academy Award nomination. However, it surprisingly, then again, I guess not surprisingly, won 0 of those nominations at the Academy Awards. It received 2 Golden Globe Award nominations for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture for Morgan Freeman and Best Screenplay for Frank Darabont. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman were both nominated for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role at the inaugural Screen Actor Guild Awards in 1985, SAG Strong. Frank Darabont was nominated for a Directors Guild of America Award in 1984 for Best Director of a Feature Film and a Writers Guild of America Award for Best Adapted Screenplay, WGA Strong. Roger Deakins won the American Society of Cinematographers Award for Outstanding Achievement in Cinematography. Nicky Marvin was nominated for a 1994 Golden Laurel Award by the Producers Guild of America. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for my likes and dislikes section of this review. What happens is I will say what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, my final review, and then my rating out of 10 of this production. And then it becomes your choice of whether you want to or not want to see this film. The Shawshank Redemption transcends the boundaries of cinema, weaving a captivating narrative that resonates deeply with audiences. From its captivating opening scenes in the quaint setting of Maine to the poignant and flawlessly executed ending, this film is a triumph of storytelling and character development. The film's journey begins with a picturesque introduction to Maine, accompanied by the nostalgic tunes of a car radio. This sets the stage for an emotionally charged odyssey that unfolds with nuanced character introductions. Andy's initial downtrodden state portrays a character of remarkable depth and complexity. As the story unfolds, viewers are drawn into the courtroom drama marked by Andy's unwavering insistence and serious defense. One of the film's strengths lies in the seamless integration of flashbacks with court proceedings. This storytelling technique enriches the narrative, providing a comprehensive view of Andy's past while maintaining a focus on the present legal drama. The emotional depth of the characters is palpable, particularly in moments of heartfelt rejection, as seen through Red's dejection after repeated parole rejections. The introduction of Red, known as the Obtainer, adds an enigmatic layer to the prison community. Clancy Brown's portrayal of Captain Hadley intensifies the film with palpable aggression, creating an immersive atmosphere within the prison. The meticulous attention to the period setting enhances the overall viewing experience, immersing audiences in the harsh realities of Shawshank. Intriguing bet dynamics add suspense and complexity to the narrative, as does the cold authority of Warden Norton, whose intimidating presence sets the tone for the oppressive prison atmosphere. Andy's resilience is a central theme, demonstrated on the first night and solidifying his role within the harsh prison environment. The film masterfully navigates the complexities of human relationships within Shawshank, contrasting the antagonizing behavior towards new prisoners with the genuine care from seasoned inmates. Andy's strategic secrecy sets the stage for his masterful plans, while the innocence of Brooks highlights the psychological toll of long-term incarceration. The sinister presence of the sisters adds tension to the narrative, yet Andy's stoic resistance showcases his strength and resilience. The risky involvement in helping Hadley obtain money marks the beginning of Andy's meticulously planned escape, underscoring his importance to the prison staff. Brooks's tragic tale, post-release, sheds light on the challenges of reintegration, emphasizing the harsh reality of life beyond prison walls. Warren Norton's involvement with Andy financial matters adds complexity to the power dynamics, with Norton's descent into madness serving as a poignant portrayal of the corrupting influence of power. The film doesn't shy away from addressing the unethical aspects of the prison system, offering a thought-provoking commentary on issues of innocence and justice. Warden Norton's attempts to control Andy, including solitary confinement, intensify the struggle between the two characters, culminating in Andy's decision to focus on escape after solitary confinement. The well-crafted flashbacks of Andy's escape, accompanied by Red's voiceover, bring a satisfying closure and resolution to the story. Andy's final act of defiance, emptying Warden Norton's fake bank accounts, serves as a poetic conclusion to his struggle, leaving a lasting impact. Red's emotional aftermath upon Andy's escape reveals the profound impact of their friendship, adding an emotional layer to the narrative. Red's release, symbolizing resilience and hope, concludes the film on a powerful note. The ending, with minimal words spoken, is perfectly executed, leaving audiences with a wealth of emotions. In conclusion, The Shawshank Redemption is a cinematic masterpiece. However, though, there are some things I dislike about it, which I will discuss right now. Although widely celebrated, this movie is not immune to scrutiny, as certain elements may leave viewers less enthused. Here's a critical examination of three notable aspects that might detract from the film's overall appeal. One glaring drawback surfaces in the film's portrayal of the passage of time at Shawshank. Despite the supposed years spent behind bars, the characters display minimal signs of aging. The mere addition of a bit of white and gray hair on the warden, Red, and Andy fails to convincingly capture the toll incarceration takes on an individual. This deficiency, invisible aging, bearing minor hairstyle adjustments, compromises the authenticity of the character's prolonged imprisonment, detracting from the film's realism. Another evident flaw emerges in the pacing of Andy's integration into Red's group. The film stumbles as it hastily propels Andy from receiving a significant cold shoulder to sudden acceptance after the roofing job. The transition lacks the nuanced development required for believability, making it feel rushed and inorganic. This abrupt shift diminishes the emotional impact of the characters' evolving relationships, leaving viewers questioning the authenticity of the connections forged within the prison walls. And finally, a missed opportunity arises with the underdeveloped character arc of Tommy Williams. The film's failure to adequately explore Tommy's personality and background becomes apparent in the rushed treatment of his story in the later part of the narrative. This haste leaves audiences with a sense of dissatisfaction, yearning for a deeper understanding of Tommy's character or his untimely demise at the hands of Hadley. The film's abrupt handling of Tommy's narrative leaves a void in character exploration, overshadowing the potential richness that could have been unearthed. While The Shawshank Redemption excels, and rightfully so, in many aspects, these particular shortcomings in aging representation, character relationship development, and narrative pacing may temper the overall viewing experience for some. While the film remains a classic, these critiques underscore the importance of a more critical lens examining the most celebrated works in cinema. And with that being said, as we wrap up this review in the very first episode of Critiquing with Carr, I will give my final thoughts on this film. Although we have reached the near end of this review in my first edition of Critiquing with Carr, I still have time for some final thoughts and reviews of this film. From start to finish, this film, as I haven't said enough already, is amazing, wonderfully done, masterfully done by Frank Darabont as the screenwriter and director, the president of this film production. Although it could have done a better job with describing fully and really fleshing out the story of Tommy Williams in Shawshank Redemption, I think there was never an aspect that wasn't fully written out or described or shown in this film. The pacing was wonderfully done. You were always hooked in the film from start to finish. And if you took your eye off for a minute, you'd be like, oh, what did I miss? Because now you're lost. That's how well this film was in terms of pacing and development of the stories. What I like most about this film is how it realistically portrays someone getting out of prison. And by that I mean in the Sylvester Stallone films, the prison ones, I should say, it shows him coming in, being on top of the world, being rich, famous, well off, and then he comes into prison and he has a struggle time and time again getting out, and it's sort of cringe. Whereas this one, you have somebody who's a hot shot, but rightfully so. He's got a psychologically presented mind in the finance world, and he successfully gets out in one try. It's like, finally, thank you. No cringe experiences where it's like, oh, why did you do that? Come on now. And I like that about the film. That being said, my final review of this film, Shawshank Redemption, is 9 out of 10 Diamond Daves. And with that, I say, if you enjoy this film, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Follow on Instagram at Critiquing with Carr. With that, until next time, we'll see each other again at the theaters. Take care.